What's up, guys? Fantasy Joe back here with our Week 10 running back rankings, half-point PPR. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. If you have any questions or comments, any start sits, trade advice, team-specific questions, waiver wire, any questions you've got fantasy football-wise, just leave them in the comment section down below and I'll respond. Been helping people out all season win their fantasy titles or at least be on the road to winning. So let's hop in here to my rankings and talk Week 10 RB rankings. Number 1, we have Naji Harris facing off against Detroit. Great matchup for Najee, and he just gets so much volume. I think he's going to have a monster week. Number 2, we have Dalvin Cook against the Los Angeles Chargers. I think Cook is going to get a ton of work this week. They've talked about getting him more involved. And then you talk about a matchup with the Chargers, who have that run funnel. They're going to force you to run the ball, and Minnesota's going to say, thank you very much, and they're just going to pound the ball at Dalvin Cook all game. 3, Jonathan Taylor against Jacksonville. I just see him busting out a few long ones in this game. See him have another monster week, similar to what he did last week. He's just a stud. 4, Christian McCaffrey against Arizona. I think he'll be a little bit more involved this week, get more snaps. But yeah, you're playing Christian McCaffrey no matter what. I'm just having him down a little bit lower because of the tough matchup as well as coming off of that injury. Don't know if he's going to be, 100% snap Christian. 5, Austin Eckler against Minnesota in that same game. I think Eckler's going to be good this week. He is pretty much every week with the work he does in the receiving game. At 6, James Conner. With the injury to Edmonds, James Conner is a locked and loaded RB1 moving forward, especially if Kyler Murray is playing. No matter what, I think Kyler is going to be pretty I think he's going to be less mobile moving forward, so I think that can be even more rushing upside around the goal line for James Conner, which is hard to believe, and he's going to be more involved in the passing game as well now. It's just up and up for James Conner. 7, Darius Johnson against New England. Not looking like Nick Chubb's going to play. Darius Johnson's got a good matchup, great offensive line blocking for him, and a great scheme. I think Darius Johnson's going to be a smash play this week. At 8, I have Ezekiel Elliott against Atlanta. Monitor Zeke. I think he's going to play, but he was a little banged up last week. That's the only reason he's below guys like D'Ernest and James Conner, honestly. 9, Alvin Kamara at Tennessee. Tennessee's been blocking people down lately. Don't know who the quarterback's going to be yet, and don't know how involved Alvin Kamara will be in the passing game. He's going to get that passing game production one way or another, like it's going to happen. I just think week to week with these quarterback changes, there could be a down week here, down week there. But they're going to address it. Even his down week is still probably 3 or 4 receptions, though. So you're definitely starting Alvin Kamara. 10, Aaron Jones against Seattle. I know it's been frustrating being an Aaron Jones owner. I am one of them. But with Rodgers back, Seattle's a great matchup. He's still a top 10 play for me. 11, Leonard Fournette against Washington. Fournette's one of those guys who's just getting so much volume. If you look at the numbers to the advanced analytics, he's a guy who's supposed to score a lot of touchdowns, and I think he will on a great offense in general, too. He's a guy who could even overproduce his touchdown totals based on touches and stuff like that because of the offensive efficiency in Tampa Bay. 12, Darryl Henderson Jr. coming off a dud week, but he's still heavily involved snap count-wise and stuff, so start Darryl Henderson, and if he had been in the drive of that last drive of the game when it was garbage time, he could have had that touchdown, had it saved his week. 13, Cordarrelle Patterson against Dallas. Cordarrelle's been really solid. You're playing him in every single matchup. Dallas isn't the best matchup for running backs, but he's really a lot more than a running back. He's a jack-of-all-trades type of guy, so I'm not worried about Cordarrelle at all. 14, Josh Jacobs. I think the Raiders have a good chance of winning this game. Josh Jacobs is much better on wins. He just needs to stay healthy and stay on the field for one of these weeks when they could win a game, and he could have a monster week, I think. DeAndre Swift. Heavily involved. Honestly, the reason I have him at 15 is because it's a tough matchup against the run in Pittsburgh. And then I don't know if Pittsburgh's going to have the offense where they can jump up to a lead quickly and have the Lions in trail mode the whole game. They definitely could, but I don't know if that's a lock like it usually is with the Lions. So I don't know if he gets those crazy reception numbers he usually gets in the second halves. 16, James Robinson against Indy. James Robinson heavily involved in that offense. Coming off that injury, I think he'll be fine. Just a tough matchup for him, but definitely starting James Robinson. Elijah Mitchell against the Rams. We've seen him be that guy. Jeff Wilson was active last week, didn't get much work. I do think he'll get more work moving forward, but Elijah Mitchell's a great play, and he is the guy there. 18, Zack Moss. Monitor his concussion. I'm assuming he plays, but if he does, he's a top 20 play for me, and if he doesn't, then I would start Devin Singletary. Against the Jets, just has a great chance to score a couple touchdowns. 19, Chris Carson against Green Bay. He's supposed to be back this week. Don't know how much they're going to use him, if they're going to throw him right back in that fire or not, but I saw him as a top 20 play. 20, Melvin Gordon. He's looked really good as a runner. He always has that nose for the end zone. And Philly's a good matchup, so I think you're starting Melvin Gordon. He'd be a guy I think you could go out and trade for. Him or Javonte, I would love to have one of those pieces. They're just, especially if one of them goes down, their schedule is extremely favorable moving forward. 21, Darrell Williams against Las Vegas. We saw what Devontae Booker did to them. I think Darrell Williams could have a good game against them, and I think he has a good chance of scoring a touchdown that Kansas City can get that offense moving at all. 22, Michael Carter against Buffalo. We see him a lot in that check down game. I might even bump him up. You know what? I probably would put Michael Carter once at 19, at 20, one spot behind Carson. No, I would put him at 19. So I put him one spot in front of Carson, actually, because we got news today that, what's his name? What was his name? Mike White. Mike White's going to play. He checks on the running back position a ton. That's going to bump up those reception numbers for Michael Carter in a bad matchup on the ground, but Buffalo's the number one defense against running backs, but I think you can start Michael Carter. I think he'll be solid because of the reception upside reception floor, I should say, with Mike White. 23, Myles Gaskin. This is a similar thought to Carter, just a little bit not as secure, but I just think that he's going to get a lot of touchdowns because they're going to be not a lot of touchdowns, a lot of receptions because they're going to be trailing most of this game. And then lastly, I have Damien Harris against Cleveland. He's another guy with a head injury, so just watch that he plays. If he's out, look for Mondre Stevenson. He could be out, though, as well with a head injury. So keep your eyes on that New England Patriots depth chart if you're looking for a sneaky play this week. If you guys have made it to this point in the video, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you have any fantasy questions, leave them in the comment section down below. Any start sits, any of that good stuff, I'll respond. As always, this has been Fantasy Joe. Thank you guys for watching.